Breaking news now coming in from Bihar. We break away from Maharashtra to that big political story in Bihar where Alok Pandey, my colleague, joins me. So Alok, now Nitish has sought time to meet the governor. That indicates it's now end game for the NDA?
Well, it does seem so because, asking the governor for time would mean that Nitish Kumar is going to make some kind of decision in the next some time. And we believe that that time has been sought for 12:30 p.m., which is just about 50 minutes from now, which means that the meeting that he is holding inside is going to be short and crisp. And perhaps, like we've been reporting in the last 24 to 48 hours, the mind of the top JDU leadership was already made up. And this meeting, more or less, is a formality. Whether the script plays out that way or not, I think, like we've been giving that disclaimer about politics, etc., we have to wait for 30, 40 more minutes. But the news that's been coming in from these areas, you see, to one end you have Nitish Kumar's house, and to the other hand you have the governor's house. So if Nitish Kumar does decide to go to the governor, it's just a 2-minute walk or a car ride for him. So that's the news that is coming out, that he is going to meet with the governor. Now, of course, what he does after that, whether he resigns or whether he reconstitutes the cabinet to include now the RJD and the Congress, all of these things we need to see. The RJD is holding a separate meeting about 200 meters away from here, Gargi and Vasu, because Lalu Yadav's residence is just behind Nitish Kumar's official residence. So that's where their MLAs are. So
But
as
just,
soon as Nitish Kumar makes his move officially,
Yeah.
then we are told that these people will also join them.
That's the thing now, that's a little bit of the crystal ball that we have to now roll here, Alok, because if Nitish, after this meeting of his own MLAs, is planning to go to the governor, then that clearly indicates that he is going with some kind of proposal where if he is likely to say that he is pulling out support from the BJP, he then has to produce the numbers to be able to stake claim and stay on as chief minister, and that's where these other parties come into play. Now, if that's what he's going to the governor with, that makes it all the more interesting, Alok, because that indicates that he's already been in touch with these other parties, like the RJD and the Congress, and may likely have even elicited some kind of assurance from them that they'll back his bid. Again, this is all speculative, we don't know if that's going to happen, but going to the governor's house straight away after this meeting indicates that some of that groundwork may already be in place. Now, just to run through the numbers with you, Alok, that currently the halfway house in Bihar Assembly being 121, the current NDU strength is 126 with the JDU at 45, the BJP at 77 and the HAM party, Manjhi's party at 4, but with 79 of the RJD, 19 of the Congress, 12 of the CPML, all of these people are likely said to have indicated to Nitish at least that they'll support him, and perhaps HAM also joins him. He will be at 160, close to 160. So that's comfortably over the halfway mark if all these people back him and if that's what he's going to go to the governor with.
Well, you're absolutely right. In fact, for Nitish Kumar, I think the buffer for him always has been that, he can form a government with the BJP or he can also look at the RJD and the Congress as viable options. But I think the challenge will begin after that. Yes, you are absolutely right that this seems to be what is happening. And a lot of it does appear now to be premeditated, because otherwise it wouldn't take Nitish Kumar 1 hour, 30 minutes to decide to go to the governor and do what he has to do. So it does look like a lot of the backroom maneuvering had been happening for the past some days at least, if not more. But I think the real challenge will then start for Mr. Kumar, because this is not the first time that he is going to be forming or going to be part of a government, maybe as the chief minister, with the formation of the JDU and the Congress, of the RJD and the Congress, etc. They've tried it in the past with not much success. I think between 2015 and 2017, if I remember the years correct, Nitish Kumar was the chief minister, Tejasvi Yadav was the deputy chief minister, Tejasvi's brother Tej Pratap Yadav was the health minister initially, I remember, and it was quite bumpy for that coalition also, and eventually Nitish Kumar called Lalu Yadav and said कि अब मैं और नहीं कर सकता, I can't do it, and then he went back to the BJP. So that challenge definitely remains, but I think the overriding concern, Vasu, as we have been reporting, for JDU and Nitish Kumar has been this entire talk that the BJP was trying to sabotage his party by using his one-time trusted aide RCP Singh, the former Rajya Sabha member,
Right.
and the former union minister, and by using him as some sort of Eknath Shinde and to try and make a Uddhav Thackeray quote unquote out of Nitish Kumar. That seems to have been the overriding issue for the JDU here.